I love the way you think. That's right, we're talking Michael Jackson. We got some Michael Jackson. Listen to this. There was an Elvis Presley shirt that was worn in 1956 on the Milton Berle show. That fetched $61,000 at this auction. Now, that wasn't a Michael Jackson item. It was an Elvis item. So apparently all the money went to whoever owned all this stuff, and they made a fortune. Prince's Purple Rain handwritten lyrics sold for $66,000.
Let's hope it wasn't that crooked father of his, Joe Jackson.
I don't know, allegedly. Put the word
allegedly crooked.
Jimi Hendrix, his Fender guitar went for $180,000. So that's just some of the other items that were on the menu. Where are we headed, Paul Stern, on the What's Cooking show? That's Paul Stern. I'm Michael Horn. Welcome back.
Kind of coming to us via Facebook. Facebook listener to CRN Digital Talk Radio, Heather Harmel, complaining that I guess at a recent visit to the JW Marriott Hotel in Palm Springs, California, complaining that there was adult activity in the family pool. I don't know what exactly
what is that? What does that mean?
No, I don't know exactly what that means either, but apparently those that were engaged in the activity were kicked out by hotel staff at the request of CRN Facebook listener Heather Harmel.
That's good. I'm glad that they... Here's the thing that bothers me somewhat, and maybe I'm just getting to be an old fuddy-duddy, and you definitely can say that if you want to, but people seem to think about themselves and not others. If you're at any hotel, whether it's especially a JW Marriott, that's a high-end thing, and if they've got a family pool and an adults pool, first off, I don't know why there should be any shenanigans between adults. I mean, maybe a little peck on the cheek or whatever, something, but if there's all this activity going on and you got kids out there in the pool, what are you people thinking about and just being so selfish about yourself? I was recently on a plane flight to New York, and Paul, you and I have been there before and watched people bring on like their entire clothing collection, not checking the bags, jamming them overhead in bins, smashing other people's stuff, all because they don't want to check a bag. For gosh sakes, please, people, check your bags. I know maybe you lost something one time. All right, that doesn't happen all the time. It's sad that it does happen, and it shouldn't happen. But for gosh sakes, to lug all your baggage on and then sit there and hit some guy in the head when you're pushing the stuff up in the baggage bin, smashing somebody else's stuff. And some people have so much junk, they're sitting in the front, they walk all the way back, then they got to walk back to the front and stop the actual boarding of the plane. You know what I'm talking about, Paul?
Oh, I certainly do. We went to actually, I know somebody personally that rather than check his bag, and he claims it's for fear that the bags will get lost, claiming that there was some incident in the past that I guess the bags did get lost, that for fear that it'll happen again, they do seem to have a wish to check on everything they could possibly check on and carry on instead of checking in.
Yeah, I think that is probably the number one fear, but I mean, how much time do you save getting off that plane? And you got to walk out to the exit anyway, so what does it take? Another 10 minutes, maybe 15 to wait for your bag to come out the chute? And think of the comfort you have sitting down in your seat, not worrying about it. Take a carry-on, put whatever you're worried about in there. If there's something really of value, put it in there and then save it on board the plane. But for gosh sakes, one bag. Make it a halfway decent size. And, jeez, I've just, and this happens, this goes along with what's happening in your pool story there. These people not thinking about other people around them. People don't think about their neighbor or anyone else. It's something else.
Terrible.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
Now, there's a new study out. It says how things feel affects what we do and what we think. So these scientists apparently are using what they call seat-of-the-pants research, literally. And they say how something feels to you can affect how you act. So they had one experiment. They're giving an example here. 86 people took part in negotiations over a new car with a sticker price of about $17,000. Some were seated on hard wooden chairs. Others were seated on some comfy padded seats. So after the first offers, they say, were rejected, the participants made a second proposal for the car. Here's a note for the car dealers. The people on the stiff wooden chairs took a hard line on the deal, raising their offered price by $896. The relaxed people on the comfy soft chairs were willing to spend an extra $1,243. So the hardness, the research concluded, produced a strictness and rigidity in the negotiations. If you are not comfortable, you are going to stick to your guns. So you want to make them comfortable in your negotiations. Are you comfortable right now, Paul?
Quite comfortable. For those of you out there this summer, you might be wishing to take part in a little bit of golf on one of your public courses.
Oh, yeah.
Be sure, as a little word of cautionary advice, be sure to check out maybe some of the specific rules and regulations. Recently, I had the unfortunate mishap of having, I guess, security called, I mean, not to compare myself with the people at the family pool, but security was actually called to my party. Apparently, you're not allowed to, on certain public courses, you cannot bring a Smirnoff Ice along with you as your...
What's going on now? So this happened to you?
Yeah, I hate to kind of use a personal story, but had the indignity of members of my group, my golf party, actually had their drinks turned upside down into trash cans.
So now, wait a minute, you go on the golf course, you're playing with a foursome, and you had a Smirnoff Ice, right?
Yeah, somebody had a Smirnoff Ice in their pocket.
And so the golf official said you can't have that on the golf course?
That is exactly what occurred.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I never heard of such a thing either, but apparently on certain courses, public courses, you cannot bring a beverage along with you.
Oh, so on a public course, so no alcohol whatsoever?
I guess not. And to have your drink turned upside down as if it was some kind of scene out of the 1920s, some kind of FBI raid or some sort, is just... Again, it was an indignity that I don't wish upon anybody.
And it was just one, right? I mean,
just a single Smirnoff Ice.
So, and you paid fees to get on, but it was a public course.
Of course. So, for those of you out there that are looking to, again, book time on public courses, double check some of those regulations. It's not like you're there on one of the private courses that are.
I don't want to contradict myself here, but I have seen for sale. I don't want to just think about myself. I have seen for sale in some of these catalogs. You can buy a special golf club that actually is a beverage container. And you can actually get a spigot on it, a concealed spigot, so you could bring your favorite beverage on the course, and it would actually be in your 3-driver. I've actually seen that, I believe, in the Heartland catalog, and it might be a great
not
gift
to
idea
encourage
for you.
a violation of course rules.
No, of course not, and not to say to think of yourself, but apparently that's maybe why such an item is for sale, is maybe others have been challenged with the same situation.
Save yourself the loss of a Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah, was it chilled too? The guy had it in his pocket chilled?
Of course it was.
Wow.
We actually like to put them in the freezer beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's one Smirnoff Ice. Can you get? And I understand some people probably get stinking drunk, and again, it's a public course. It's like the swimming pool thing you're talking about. I understand totally, but. I would check on this item just to make sure and see what's going on. If that's the case, at least they would see if you had this special spigot in your 5-driver. They'd know exactly how much it actually could hold. See some guy actually taking the 5-driver and washing it a lot, and then taking some of that water and washing it down a little bit with whatever's in there.
Don't know if this goes for all the local public courses, but that is certainly one public course that I will probably not be frequenting again soon.
Do you care to name it? Was it in the Southern California area?
It was in the Southern California, Southern California, Los Angeles area. Public course out of Los Angeles, sir.
But you're not going to name it.
No, I'm not going to go ahead and name it. But Rancho Park Golf Course.
Okay, thank you. A warning for our listeners and for all people that go to public courses, and apparently maybe all of you know that and we didn't, but it's kind of a surprise. It should be probably very clearly marked to avoid embarrassment. Straight ahead we continue. What's cooking? That's Paul Stern. I'm Michael Horn at CRN.